Hey guys, this is English Shooting. I'm Callum. Welcome back to the channel and let's get into the video. We're at the Phoenix shooting range in Barnsley taking a look at one of their very special club guns. This is available for all members to be able to book out and use, and it's an incredibly fascinating gun, not just its design but also the history behind it. We're going to show you how to load it up and make it ready for use, but before we do so, let's take a little look at the history of not only this gun and how it came into existence, but the man behind it, Mr. Alan Westlake of Westlake Engineering. Alan Westlake is an incredibly accomplished pistol shooter, having previously been the Army Service Pistol Champion representing the UK in the World Championships, and turned his hobby into his profession when he purchased Britarms back in 1986. And for over 10 years made target pistols until the 1997 ban, but he didn't let that get him down, creating the Phoenix, which is a .36 caliber inline striker muzzle loading pistol, which still gave the option of some target shooting with our new laws. Next was the Clubmaster, which was a less expensive option, running on nitro powder instead of black powder. The Matchmaster Shroud was really the genesis of the alpha muzzle loading revolvers that he makes today. The real first tussle politically and with the police and Home Office first came with the Britarms 2.2 long pistol. This is the real birth of the long barrel pistols that we have today, and with numerous arguments with the Home Office, the police and even judges, it was deemed that yes, the 2.2 long pistol conformed to UK law, and whilst he was warned not to push it any further, he then came out with the Browning butt-mark long barrel pistol, which was really the model for all long barreled pistols that we know of today. After that, he focused more on his muzzle loading revolvers, buying in modern frames from the likes of Taurus and Armscore, creating his own cylinders to be able to convert them to muzzle loading revolvers. These are pretty much the most modern non-long barreled revolvers that we can own here within the UK, and it's all because they are deemed to be muzzle loading, not cartridge loading. Today, if you want to buy a muzzle loading revolver, then it is the Alpha 357, available in a 6, 4, 3 or even a 2-inch barrel configuration. Back onto the gun in front of us, we have a 6-inch Alpha 357 muzzle loading revolver, and we're going to take you through the process of how you load it up and use the thing. Alongside the gun, you can see its cylinder. This detaches completely from the gun. To the left of the cylinder, you can see the loading rig, and this is where the real magic happens with loading up the gun. The first step in loading the Alpha is by using these little pre-measured powder pots. Now, this is the most precise element of the loading process. You don't want to be doing this necessarily on the fly on the range, so you can do this at home in a controlled environment. Make sure that your powder loads are correct so that when you get to the range, you don't have to worry about that and you can carry on with your shooting as quickly as possible. To charge the cylinder, you mate it up to the little powder pot, turn it upside down. All of the powder is going to empty into all of the chambers, and make sure that they are charged to the right level. Once you've done the powder, you can then slightly hand press the heads into the chamber, ready to be pressed in completely. With all of the heads partly in the chambers, we can then position it underneath the press and press home every single head into position, making sure that they are slightly sub-flush to avoid any interference as the cylinder rotates. With all of the heads seated correctly, we can do the final step, which is seating the primers, which are just standard shotgun primers. With this complete, you can put the cylinder back into the gun and use the revolver like any other standard revolver. I have to be honest that I did have a couple of issues with getting the cylinder to rotate in this gun. I think that was more down to my inexperience of loading up the cylinders. I've only done this a handful of times in the past, and the people before me that were more experienced were having absolutely no issues at all. But this does give you the feeling of a normal revolver. The noise is a little bit different, the smell is a little bit different, but it doesn't have that long barrel, it doesn't have that long rod, and it certainly feels in the hand like any other revolver would. This gun is certainly one that is gonna be on my bucket list to get, not just because of the cool factor, not because you get to geek out and actually load it there at the range, but also the history and the journey that this gun has been on to reach where it is today. Huge respect to Alan Westlake and what he's been through and what he's created out of it. The British firearms community and the landscape of British firearms today would be incredibly different without him. If you want to learn more about his guns, the history of Alan Westlake, or you want to buy one of these revolvers, then you can go and check out Westlake Engineering and you'll find all of the details on there. I really hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a big thumbs up, and thank you very much for watching. If you want to see more content like this, then please hit that subscribe button, and of course, as always guys, I hope to see you soon.